Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Smile and DenisMarkov on Abyssal Reef, the latter edition. In the top left side of the map, from my insanity, it is the Red Terran player, Smile. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is DenisMarkov. So this is a GM level game, sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. Welcome aboard, glad to have you here. I do like casting GM level games, as I'm sure you know if you've watched one of them before, just because I feel like they're not as cookie cutter as professional games, with the exception of TLO and other creative players like him. GM, I feel like, has a lot more room for experimentation just because there's not so much on the line. These are just ladder matches where you could improve and try stuff out. If this was a tournament, I feel like it'd be much more cookie cutter and a little bit more expected strategies, but this is going to be good. All right, so here we go. Refinery out from Smile already. Barracks on the way as well. Double assimilator here very early from DenisMarkov. Gateway not even complete yet. No sign of him intending to expand at this point. We'll see what he's planning on doing. Again, GM ladder, weird stuff happens. Weird stuff, but it has the high-level skill that we like to see from our StarCraft 2 matches. Cybercore coming up from DenisMarkov. The barracks is going to complete here for Smile. Let's see what he does with that thing right away. He gets a reactor. Tosses a reactor on that. Again, Reaper's very hard to make work against Protoss. It's just because Mothership cores are good, Stalkers are good, Adepts are good. And there's the expansion out of DenisMarkov. So after the Cybercore, after the second assimilator, one assimilator has one probe in it. The other one has two. There we go. Now up to 3. The other one up to 2. He's kind of alternating when he's putting workers on gas here. This is probably a specific build, either that he does or that he's copied from somebody else. But right now he's got worker. There it is, fully saturated. Okay, it took him a second. Took him a few seconds. But he did manage to get full saturation on both of these assimilators. An Adept coming out very quickly for DenisMarkov. And we got 2 Marines coming out for Smile. He should have another couple by the time the Adept shows up. 4 Marines. I'd like to see 5, maybe 6 to deal with a single Adept, depending on the micro involved. But yeah, Smile should be just fine against this early Adept harass, considering it's just 1. 2 would be a problem, but 2 would come later. So it's kind of those are your trade-offs when you're trying to defend against something like this. What do we got coming up next? Factory just about to complete here. Again, another set of Marines coming in for Smile. He knows what's up against Protoss. He's just trying to get this number out to make sure that its expansion comes up, which is under construction. Like I said, second Nexus for DenisMarkov is warping in this very second. And there it is, immediately making workers out of that thing. Again, it's GM. That's what you like to see. So 2 Marines here, not enough to deal with the Adept, but 2 more coming out just in time, I think. Moving the wounded Marine back. It does take 3 shots for an Adept to kill a Marine up from the 2 that it used to be. Trying to sonic transfer inside the base, lifting the supply depot just the last second. Is Smile saying, no Adept, you're not allowed inside. Trying to kill this SCV as well. Save it! Save the SCV, gonna die. Good job getting a kill there, Adept. I don't know if you want to stick around too long. Yo, does sonic transfer. Oh, but still inside the natural base, it gets killed by the Marines. Ouch. So an Adept for an SCV, probably not a trade that DenisMarkov would make again. But did get some information, recognize the Marine count is getting fairly high for Smile. These guys will get healed up. I mean, 2 of them are pretty low. Pretty low on HP right about now. This guy has 1 hit point exactly. That's that 3rd shot that is needed to kill a Marine if you're an Adept. Double Marines continuing to be pumped out here. We have a medevac on the way from Smile. Forge coming in from DenisMarkov. Fairly early Forge, I would say. And an Observer coming in here as well. Stalker count beginning to increase. Already has 2, working on a 3rd. Inside that gateway. Does he have warp gate research yet? He just finished it. Now turning his gateway into a warp gate and a Twilight Council is the tech of choice for our Protoss player. Moving out, double Widowmine drop is what this is going to be out of Smile. Again, very, very annoying for Protoss to deal with, but with an Observer, with some Stalkers, with Photon Overcharge available, all things that DenisMarkov has, you should be just fine against an early Widowmine drop play type like this. Engineering Bay now finishing for Smile. Upgrades could begin or could begin any moment. Let's go for that thing. Smile, come on, upgrades are great. Not doing it, fine. Barracks being built on a tech lab and a reactor being built on this starport here. Here comes our drop attempt out of Smile. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. The Stalker's getting some nice shots off. 1 Widowmine dead. The other Widowmine trying to burrow in there, dead. Medevac might survive depending on how much boost is available here. The answer is not much, but now there is. and does manage to escape. Widowmine's doing absolutely 0 damage, handled beautifully by Markov, getting a shot off on the medevac until the Widowmines drop, then focusing those guys down, and nothing. They didn't even burrow. No shots off. Even if they had managed to burrow, I think Markov would have been able to maybe get lose 1 probe to each one of those, possibly. There's an observer here. There are stalkers. Even then, losing a probe when you're that prepared is probably not that great of a thing. Robotics Bay, warping in for DenisMarkov right now, constructing missile turrets. His natural base here is Smile. Doing a bit of a swap here. Barracks moving over on to that tech lab that the factory built. Factory building a reactor now. Starport doing nothing. A little bit supply blocks is Smile right now. He is getting that +1 attack upgrade for his biological units. And Stalkers moving up the map right about now. Immortal production has begun as well. Blink about halfway complete. Not quite there yet for these Stalkers. Not as effective as they could be. But against this small number of Marines. Oh, killing an observer though. Great job by Smile. Recognizing that was happening. Whew, scanning that observer, burning it out of the sky with the scan. That's a beyond level move right there. He never allows observers to sit in his base. Not even close. Colossus on the way. What? Colossus with extended thermal lance here from DenisMarkov. Oh, all right. All right, we'll see how this is going to work out. 3rd command center under construction for Smile. 3rd Nexus warping at about 90% complete. Here just north of his main base for DenisMarkov. Again, this is Abyssal Reef. I'm not sure we've seen anything really fly up to the sky yet. Or again, fly up to the surface, because apparently we're underwater here. I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me how the logistics work. Tanks are part of this army now for Smile. Got 2 siege tanks, got a lot of Marines, and a couple Marauders. Not that many, but it's a nice concave. Get out of there. Yeah, Stalkers do not want to move into there with tanks and Marines and Marauders. All 3 of those things pretty good against Stalkers, assuming that the Marines have stim. And they don't actually quite yet. It is being researched, not there quite yet. And Combat Shield is completing right about now. And by now, I mean right about now. There it is. There it is. There's the Combat Shield. 55 hit points on these guys. All right, so moving out is our Terran army trying to stick together. Trying to make sure the medevacs don't go wandering off by themselves. These Stalkers are in a bit of trouble, I would say. They're in a spot of trouble as they decide to head on back home. First Colossus is out, though, which is going to help a lot against this high number of Marines. Picking up, dropping over, trying to kill a pylon that is set up here kind of forward for DenisMarkov behind these rocks, but gets killed nonetheless as pieces of the pylon soar up from our perspective. So going to be Adept Stalker, Immortal Colossus here for DenisMarkov. I just don't know. I don't know, man. Colossus getting some shots off. A couple Marines dying very quickly. Going for it. It's DenisMarkov trying to focus on as many of these Marines as they can. A second Colossus shows up, and Smile is forced to retreat here. Get out of there. But a drop here at the natural base with Marines and Marauders. Taking down this cannon that's trying to protect very quickly. Does give time for the probes to run, but Photon Overcharge. Double Photon Overcharge coming up, killing some Marauders. Widowmine does fire and hit that mothership core, but not enough to kill her. Some Adepts come in to clear this thing out. And the drop. No, mothership core does end up getting killed, and Smile decides to retreat. Widowmine taking out an Adept that got a little bit too close to it. So, let's see. I would say DenisMarkov won that engagement fairly handily up here in the middle of the map. The drop was pretty successful. Pretty successful for Smile, though. Did any probes? No probes killed, which is a bit of a disappointment for the Terran player. Third base has landed. It is an orbital command, which means it can toss down those mules, as it just did, as you might have heard, over to your headphones or speakers, depending on how you're watching this cast. Widowmine firing again, killing another Adept. That was her job. She was there to die, to try to save those probes. An ignominious death. Cannon comes up, takes care of one of the Widowmines, and Adept comes in to avenge her dead sister. Liberator showing right on up. That's the follow-up for Smile. Liberator setting up on about half of the mineral pods here at the natural base. Mineral patches, pods. I guess they're patches here, not pods at all. And another drop here at the main base. Marines, Marauders. Not many of them, just about 3 Marines and a Marauder, but doing fairly well for themselves, standing in here against these Adepts. And then forced to retreat. Liberator as well, getting about 5 kills before she gets taken out by Stalkers from the ground. And so some good consistent harass here from my Insanity's Smile. Woo! Pardon me, had to cough there. Not 100% healthy yet. Trying to get there. Trying really hard to get a lot of sleep at night and take drugs and not overexert myself. But man, I've had this cold for about a week now, and it's just, I just need to get rid of it. Need to get rid of it entirely. Ground Weapons 2, Level 2, wrapping up here for DenisMarkov, getting charged for his charge lots at the same time. Not quite done yet, but in progress. Smile continuing Liberator production. Marines, Marauders, +1 air weapons on the way, +2 melee attack, and +1 armor for the melee coming in as well. Liberator trying to sneak over here to the natural base again, yet there's a cannon. All that the Liberator can really cover at this point are a couple mineral patches, 3 of them, but still enough to get some probe kills here. Pull him out. Get out of there. Is he still dropping? Smile's still dropping back here at the main base. He's just been hanging out in the dead space with his medevac and these couple Marines and a Marauder and just causing problems all the way around. Just trying to sneak on in here. Oh, getting surrounded here at the third base are these Marines. The Stalkers just melting them with their +2 attack and +1 armor. Didn't go well at all. The Liberator dies as well, but 18 probes have been lost. At 60 to 55 harvesters, Smile has that lead largely in thanks to the harassment done by these drops, which this one is still alive. This one is still alive. The Stalkers really want to kill it, but I don't think they can reach it and clear down here. A lot of dead space, actually. Is that a fish? That is a fish. Does it disappear? Come back, fish. Come back, fish. That is so cool. Who built this map? I want to shake that person's hand. I really do. Advanced ballistics coming in for Smile. Wants that extended range on the Liberators. Again, in my experience, the Terran players going for Liberators, you just gotta deal with them. Just take the hits, march right on in there, focus them down with your Blink Stalkers. Once they're dead, everything gets a little bit easier for your ground army. So I hope that's what DenisMarkov does. I hope he doesn't try to dance around them and try to avoid getting hit, because you just gotta take the shots and give as good as you got, and then I think you're in a better spot, honestly, for a Protoss player. Smile bringing back his heroic and victorious Marines and a Marauder from their drop action down at the main base. They come all the way back to the third to join the rest of this army and get healed up. About time. Trying to land a fourth base here is Smile. Says DenisMarkov. My Stalkers will take you out of the sky. Explosions, fireworks, dead. +2 done on those dudes. All right, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Yes, there are scary Liberators here. Yes, there are a bunch. But you almost just have to do it. You just have to do it. Is that another Liberator? Another Liberator here at the third base. Does have 5 kills to her name. Stalkers do manage to take it out. Another Liberator here. I'm not sure. 9 kills on this one. Holy smokes. Liberator attacks everywhere. Adepts coming on into this natural base, though. Losing a lot of SCVs is Smile. Not looking good. And the rest of the army needs to go for the third base right now. These Adepts are buying you time. They're buying you time. Army, move, move, move. And they are. They're moving. They're going for it. Adepts are losing this battle, though, because these are +2 Marines and Marauders with Stim and Combat Shield, but the third base under direct assault now and will eventually end up falling here. The Stalkers do take it out. And DenisMarkov retreating, having removed that base. Adepts have warped in to this main base of Smile as well, going after even more SCVs. This Liberator, though, has 9 kills. Is it coming back home to defend? Might be coming back home here to defend just a little bit. It's 32 to 48 harvesters. 32 probes have died. 30 SCVs have been killed. Adepts just going to town here in the main base, but I think they did get themselves pitted into a bit of a corner. Liberator and Marauders and Marines, enough to take them down, and they're out. Liberator, man, look at that advanced ballistics. That range is 9. God, so much range. Look at this thing. I think you need to build flying units to deal with it here at this particular location of the natural base for DenisMarkov. Army pushing in for DenisMarkov. He does have his Colossus with extended thermal lance and +2 attack, doing 28 damage per swipe of those laser beams. But it's a lot of Marauders. Look at this heavy Marauder count from Smile. What does he have? 33 Marauders and 24 Marines. That's a lot of Marauder, which just means the Colossus are not as effective. The Stalkers are not as effective. I like this choice out of Smile. Is DenisMarkov going to base race this thing is the question. He's chasing this army down from behind. They're just going for it now. Here's Smile. He lost his third. He recognizes he is not in a spot to just trade at this point. He needs to win. Oracle coming in from DenisMarkov. Liberators setting up from behind. Oh, and the Stalkers do not finish him off when they have the chance. Now they're trying to come back in, but it's a little bit too late. Stalkers are getting absolutely melted here by the Marauders, defending those Liberators. Colossus and Stalkers trying to deal with the Marauders themselves, doing fairly well for themselves, but this fourth base that DenisMarkov has built and the Stargate are all going to fall here. Adepts sitting inside the main base, getting picked from distance by that Liberator. Main base is basically shambles for Smile right now. He's mining a little bit here from his natural, but he is not doing very much. He needs to win this thing, and he needs to win this thing now. Marines and Marauders heavily pouring damage into this third base of DenisMarkov, and they get it. And they get it. Units tab is 7 Stalkers, 5 Colossus, and 2 Zealots for DenisMarkov versus 23 Marines, 26 Marauders, 12 Liberators, and 4 Medevacs. I think the Terran player has this, despite how in shambles his base is back home. He doesn't have the ability to beat this army in a head-to-head battle. If you're DenisMarkov, you almost just want to base race this thing. He's got Tempest. Just taking out 1 Liberator, yes, very nice, but forcing him away from his own natural base is this attack, and it's just brutal, is what it is. Tempest are firing from distance here, trying to thin out this Liberator count. It's just not going to be enough. They're getting hit by air-to-air weapons from the Liberators. The natural base getting directly assaulted here by Smile, losing a Stargate, losing a Fleet Beacon at the same time. This Liberator is still here, locking down mineral patches of the natural base, just hanging out back while the rest of the Terran army here on the ground is just ripping through the ground resistance here. The Stalkers are afraid to move in because of Liberator circles. They're forced to back even further out as the circles come further in. And it's just looking really bad. Really bad for the Protoss player here. Colossus trying to do this thing against this many Marauders. Tempests are trying to figure out how to get rid of these Liberators. They take another one down. And actually, the ground army for Smile is not doing super well here. There are a few Marauders here, but they're getting taken down very quickly by these Colossus. Viking trying to come in. The Colossus are pretty much all that is left here for Denis. More reinforcing units coming in here from Smile. Colossus Corpse flying past us there as well. Viking trying to get shots off on this Colossus. Does get killed by the remaining Stalkers on the ground. What? What is happening? Colossus continuing their march across the map here with 2 very low HP Stalkers, mind you. Trying to get those Medevacs. They do pick one off as it tries to retreat. And Smile's actually pulling back. He is long-distance mining from his natural base to his third, which does not have a command center anymore. He's trying to lift off his orbital command from his main to land it here at his third. DenisMarkov trying to replant his 4th base, going for it here, getting rid of the missile turret, getting rid of SCVs. I don't know if Smile can stop this from happening is the problem. He has a pretty ragtag army here. The Liberators are a big deal. Stalkers need to pick them off immediately. Tempest as well, going to be a big part of this. Good job blinking the Stalkers back out of the damage. SCV's in here to tank damage for the rest of the units. Colossus does end up falling. Another Colossus falls. The Liberators are not being dealt with here. Stalker trying their very best. 2 Stalkers going to try to get rid of what they can. SCVs might actually kill this Colossus, and they do. What is going on? Stalkers with 21 and 14 HP each. Viking gonna finish them off. Viking kills it. But loses the Medevac there as well. This Liberator has completely locked down this natural base of DenisMarkov. Has 21 kills. Hero Liberator of my insanity. Smile landing another orbital command here at the natural base. Did he build? Must have built another one somewhere. It's coming from his main. I don't know when he did that, but he did. Dark Shrine coming in from DenisMarkov. One behind Dark Shrine. It is 0 to 1 worker. DenisMarkov has a very tenuous lead. Oh, Hero Liberator locking down the 3rd base now, all by herself. Trying desperately to get those probes back up. DenisMarkov has 20 minerals. Smile has 39. 39, because again, mules. Mules are really good. This is going to allow Smile to get back into the game at some point. I just don't know how it's this close. Was it the Colossus? It must have been the Colossus. It must have just been straight up the Colossus at this point. Holy crap. All right. I mean, it's pretty much slowed down at this point. When you only have 3 workers each, not a lot is going on. In the production tab, Smile is making Marines, which, I mean, it seems like a solid choice at this moment. Denis is making probes, really not able to make anything else. He's got 4 probes and an observer right now. Does he have any cannons at all? Nope, no cannons. Yeah, I feel like if Smile moved across the map right now, he would just straight up win, because Markov is trying to macro instead of making units, which, again, I don't blame him. If you only have 5 probes, it's hard to do much else but macro at this point. You got to get back up to a point where you can make an army, I suppose. Hero Liberator coming back around. Oh, he does have a cannon. There's a single cannon here at the natural base for DenisMarkov. That might put up some resistance, but it's not really in a spot to stop anything bad from happening to the Protoss player here. Defender mode circle shows up. Probes retreat. Liberator chases them. I think he's trying to split up his probes. Get out, get out. There we go. Split them up. So some are at the 4th base. And some are at this natural base, but again, still has minerals. Somehow get out of the... Oh, too close! Lost one. Lost a probe. Too close to the circle there. Trying to warping in a DT is Dennis and moving it out. Moving the Dark Templar out. Dennis with the... Oh, Dennis decides it's not worth it. It taps out at the 20-minute mark exactly. And DenisMarkov is defeated. Well done. Well done to Dennis there. But congratulations to Smile getting the victory. Woo, that was... I mean, that was as close as you're going to get, honestly. To lose all of your workers, but one probe. One probe remained on the map at that point. Just insane. Insane. And those SEVs that killed a Colossus... good times. Good times for those workers. They will tell their kids about that for sure. All right. Whew, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, I thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.